All right, so we're recording late, but sorry. Okay, so you and your coaches, if you hit Success Club 5 or above, you're going to earn a spot for the Jen Sincero podcast. If you don't know who Jen Sincero is, know her. She writes the book. This one right here, You Are a Badass. It is by far one of my favorite books. I read this, I think, in on my way to El Salvador, in 2 plane rides. It is so good. She is phenomenal. He says it exactly the way you probably think, but you might be afraid to say. And she just has this wisdom and this enthusiasm and this passion for living her best life that you can't help but just want to get on board. So earn Success Club 5 or above, get your spot in the podcast. These things are not recorded. So these are for the people that are earning it. There's no chance to listen to it on the outside. So you, your team, your coaches, if you have them, get them on this. All right. This is a big personal development prize. One of my favorite things about January is all of our Success Club points will be doubled. So these can be applied to the Success Club trip. So for those of you who don't know how that works, you earn your Success Club trip by your Success Club points. So in April of this year, I had already earned my Caribbean cruise. I had my January points doubled, which I think came to 35, I think it was. So I had those doubled, or that was doubled, excuse me. And then all of the months, after that, up until April, those all applied towards a trip. It's not hard to earn these trips, you guys. You just have to hit Success Club. It is paid for you and a guest, by the way. You and a guest, okay? You got to get yourself there by air, but these trips are paid for. That's food, that's drink, everything. So this is the month to just go all the way. I was going to say something not so appropriate. Go all the way. But you get those double Success Club points in January. So remember that. Okay, so, hang on a second. More technical issues here. Hang on a second. I don't know your code. Oh. Okay, thank you. I have to keep touching it. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I want to talk, these are the characteristics that I want to talk about. What's going to carry us through this next year? This is the type of job that, we don't have bosses, right? We're entrepreneurs. We're not employees. So it's up to us to make these things happen. And these internal qualities and characteristics, these are the kind of things that you need in order to grow your business. And so I wanted to talk about, first of all, perseverance. This is something that we are all born with, right? Every single person is born with this. This is not something that you necessarily have to learn. It is something that you have to maintain to run a business like this. So think about when you were a baby and you were learning to walk. You fell down a lot, right? And for those of you who are parents, you've seen your kids, they fell down a lot. But what did they do? They got back up, right? They didn't just go, oh, I fell 3 times. Now I'm just going to stay here. I guess I'm destined to crawl for the rest of my life. I'm just going to be a crawler for the rest of my life, because you know what? Trying again is just too hard. It's the same concept in this business. You're going to fall down. You're going to fail. But it's that getting back up, that perseverance, that's going to help you grow this business. Because I promise you, there's not a rule in this world that says, okay, 20% of you are going to be walkers, and the rest of the 80% of you, sorry, there's only a limited amount of spots for walkers. The rest of you got to crawl. That's not how it works. Everyone, other than obviously there's amputees and stuff, so being politically correct here, but everyone has the opportunity to walk. Everyone has the opportunity to be successful. There's room for every single one of us in this world to succeed in our dreams and to grow this business. There's no cap on who can be successful in this business. Just like there's no cap on how many walkers we can have in this world. You fall down, you get back up. You fall down, you get back up. That's why you walk. That's why you run. That's why you bike, right? It's the same in this business. You fall down, you got to get back up. And I promise, this is not just for a select few. This is for anybody who is willing to get back up even by using that coffee table and pulling yourself up, there's plenty of room for all of us to get back up and succeed. I think in this, talking about perseverance, I think there's a lot of people that tend to give up when this gets difficult. Think about it if you did that when you were a kid, you just would fall down. And maybe think of the example riding a bike. You probably fell off your bike. Did you just give up then? No. Of course it's going to be difficult, but it's having that grit and that perseverance that's going to help you push through this. You also need to have that emotional strength. Like I know for me, I get to the point sometimes, and I've said this to a couple of coaches, when we face the storm, we really have to adjust our sails. And what that means is we come up against a problem. Maybe we're just not getting the traction on our Facebook. Maybe we're just getting so many no's. Maybe we're just having that negativity just kind of, over our head. We have that dark cloud over our head. It's that perseverance that's going to take you through that storm, right? So what are you going to do in that? Are you going to say, it's just too hard. I just don't have enough people, or I just don't know how to reach more people? No, you're going to find out how to find more people. Right? Find out, hey, if what I'm doing is not working, what can I change? What can I do to make that better? Maybe instead of as a toddler, trying to run down the hallway, maybe you take it one step by step. Maybe you grab onto the bookshelf next to you, right? You find another way to get down that hallway. You don't just sit there and cry and look down the hallway, right? You find a solution. You weather that storm, and you got to have that emotional strength, because that's going to happen. I will tell you, there have been so many times in this business that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm just not meant to do this. Maybe this is just not my path. Maybe, and all these doubts start just clouding my brain, and they just start affecting my mood. And then I start to think like, you know what? No. This is a test. I have plenty of perseverance, and this is a test. How can I pass this test? What do I need to learn from this? And that is, okay, so maybe I need to find a new platform of social media. Maybe I need to reword my scripts. Maybe I need to find a new way to think and to process things. Maybe I need to find a new form of personal development. There's always an answer, right? Because it's not going to happen overnight. This business absolutely will not happen overnight. I started over 2 years ago. It'll be 3 years in April. And I know that I thought I was going to be in a different place 3 years from now. I mean, I'm really happy where I am, but I think we get the idea that it's going to be a lot easier than it is. But this is an entrepreneurship. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Luckily for us, it's founded on some pretty darn amazing things. We're not trying to sell printers or, picture frames. I'm looking around my room here. But, this is a business that impacts people's lives. And so I think that's, for me, that's where I know that I can't give up, because it is that job that does inspire people. And I know that it's not going to be an overnight thing, because it's a relationship building type of business, and the relationships don't happen overnight. You don't make best friends in a day. You don't find a husband or a wife in a day. These are relationships that you're affecting, whether they are coaches, whether they are challengers, whatever that may be. So let me find my notes here, guys. And having the perseverance in this job, I mean, it's such a vital element, because I guarantee you're going to fail. I know I have. I have failed so many times. I think back on my first year, and I kind of feel bad for some of my coaches back then, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And, I was just trying to get along and through the business and learn what I could. And there's plenty of times where I failed. Maybe I didn't respond to someone the right way. Maybe I went a little bit too fast. Maybe I just wasn't the right leader that I wanted to be. And I made some choices, or I acted in a way that wasn't necessarily moving me forward. But I'll tell you what, I did learn from them. I found a quote today by Vince Lombardi, and it says, "The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will." And if you have that will and you have that perseverance, God help them, nothing is going to hold you back, right? If you say this is going to help, or this is going to work, and this is going to happen, and you're going to have that perseverance, then yeah, it's absolutely going to happen. So I want to talk about something that I am not real good at, and that is called patience. So for those of you who either ever lived on a farm or have a garden, think about kind of how you grow that garden. Think of your garden as your business. Think about, you want this big, beautiful vegetable garden, and you want these wildflowers and these cucumbers and these tomatoes and everything else. You don't just go to that garden and drop in a few seeds, sprinkle a little bit of water, and stand over it and go, okay, I'm ready. I'm here. Grow. Where's my garden? Right? Like, that's not how it works. You have to sprinkle hundreds of seeds, right? And then each day you have to water those seeds. And then the next day you have to water those seeds, and you have to wait for the sun to shine. And you have to go back through and you have to take out the weeds. And then you have to go back and then you have to water again, right? It takes time. You have to nurture that garden. It's the same sense in this business. So relate that to maybe the inviting process. Do you go and invite 5 people and then go, okay, why am I not successful? I invited, 8 people to be on my team. I should be a diamond coach by now. Hello, what's going on? That's not how it works. You have to plant so many seeds, and you have to nurture all of those seeds, and you have to water all of those seeds, and you have to wait for the sun to shine on all of those seeds. That takes patience, and that takes time, because I guarantee that you can't drop a few seeds and then just wait. That's not how it works. I also like to see this business as like running a marathon. And I don't know how many of you, I know Amanda, I know you're a runner. I can't see who else is on the call right now because I got my shared screen here. Oh, Catherine's a runner. Definitely Miss Rosie down there. I see you. When you train for a race, it's a step-by-step process. You may not be able to see that finish line, whatever that goal may be. You can't see that finish line. You know it's there, and you know it takes that commitment and that dedication and the slow steps, one foot in front of the other. When I did the San Francisco Marathon, right around mile 9 to 10 and a half or so, and I think I mentioned this to you before, but there was a hill that I almost wanted to throw up by looking at it. It was right towards the end. It was a half marathon, so I had 13 miles to go. I looked up at this hill and I was just like, I can't see the end of that hill. This hill's going to kill me. Like, I was tired. Been up since, 5 o'clock or so. I had to get downtown San Francisco. I was exhausted by mile 9. I was booking it. Like, I was not taking my time. I get to this hill and I'm like, I can't see the top of this hill. How am I going to get up there? And I have my flag in one hand. And I just remember telling myself, one foot in front of the other. One, like left, right, for like a mile and a half, left, right. And we're talking, this sucker was like this and this. And every time I got to another corner, it would turn. I couldn't see it. Just up, 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 up. And I started to just get this emotional feeling of, I'm doing this, and it sucks right now, and it hurts really bad right now, but I'm doing this. And the only way I'm going to get up there is doing left, right, left, right, left, right. That's the only way I'm getting up this hill. There's no elevator. I wish there was, but there is no elevator here. I've got to do one foot in front of the other to get up there. And it's the same concept in this business. It's day in, it's day out, right? It's sitting down, it's doing that power hour. It's making those connections. It's posting on social media. It's all those left, right every single day that's going to get you to that top of the hill. At the top of the hill, there was a sign and it said, the best version of you just saw the best version of yourself when you crushed that hill. And I started sobbing because I was like, I did it. It was one damn hill, but I did it because it was so hard. I was so tired, but I'm like, you know what? You're right. I wanted to just be like, yeah. And I think I might have, I don't know. But that sign just was like, you're right. I saw the best version of myself, because when you put in the patience in this business and you think, I can't see the finish line, I can't make this happen. And you do, and you reach a goal, and it doesn't have to be, all of a sudden you're a 15-star diamond or you make 10,000 a week, but whatever that big goal is to you, maybe that's getting to diamond. Maybe that's building your own team. Maybe that's a 2-star diamond. Maybe that's quitting your current job, whatever your goal may be. Mine was crushing that hill, and it took my left, rights to get up that hill. It's the same in this business. And I think that patience gives us grit. It gives us the ability to work towards those goals and we reach those goals consistently, we build our reputation. And what I mean by that is the reputation, not only within yourself, but think about those people around you that are looking to you, right? The reputation as you continue to talk about your business and, hey, I did this and I did this and I'm growing. That reputation sticks with you because you had that grit. I think, impatience is also a habit. Impatience is a habit, but so is patience. I'm trying to read my notes at the same time as look at you guys. When we lack patience, we're unable to delay the gratification for more than one moment, which fills us with frustration. This is something I know really well. Frustration is the emotional energy that drives quitting. I've been there. I've been there and thought, okay, it's not working. It's not going fast enough. I'm just going to give up. I'm frustrated. It's because I was being impatient, not only with myself, but with the process. And I think when we're impatient, we're unable to work towards our goals with the dedication that we need. We start to quit in order to start again. And we start to have that pattern over and over again. So when you lack that patience, you get that roller coaster, right? I'm going real strong, I'm going real hard, and I'm frustrated. So I'm going to let it go. And I'm going real hard, I'm going real strong, and I'm frustrated. Guess what that causes? Lack of stability, right? Lack of momentum. You guys hear me talk about momentum all the time. Momentum is huge in this business. And when you lose that momentum, holy cow, that's hard to get back. Think about with your fitness goals. You stop working out for a week or two. Are you excited to go push play? Are you excited to go out and run? Probably not. You're tired. Your body says, you gave me a break. I'm sticking to this, right? It's the same sort of concept with your brain and your enthusiasm and your motivation and your passion for this business. Patience with yourself is so important in this. You're not supposed to know all of this right now. And I know for sure that I definitely don't know everything right now. I learn something new every day. But I think any journey that could potentially become such a great success. And although I know that I have a long way to go on my goals, the journey has been so amazing. And it's required a lot of, dedication and that hard work, dedication to ourselves. This is only a possibility when we are patient with our progress, no matter how fast or slow it goes, as long as you continue to go. So strive to be the last one standing. And that's when the others, people around you, your friends, your family, will see you as accountable and dependable and trustworthy. And the first person they want to go to. How many coaches do you see that are really, really inconsistent with your business? Just like I talked about with that roller coaster. I guarantee they're not the first person that comes to mind when someone thinks I need a coach or I want to start my own business. I feel blessed that I do get some messages of people saying, hey, I've been thinking about becoming a coach and I thought of you. That means the world to me because I know, okay, I'm being consistent and I'm allowing myself to not give up and not let that frustration sink in. I also think that patience puts us in direct control of ourselves. This is something that I definitely struggle with is the patience. There's no more powerful an aid to success than self-possession. When we are patient, we give ourselves time to choose how to respond to a given event, like failure, right? Rather than get emotionally hijacked by our emotions, which is hard, but it's true. It allows us to stay gathered no matter what is going on. With self-management, we can build trust in our capacity to deal with whatever comes our way. I definitely think a lack of success in this business definitely comes down to patience. I think the most basic reason for impatience is that lack of control. When we lack control, we lack understanding and insight. When we lack understanding and insight, we lack the ability to plan, we lack the ability to communicate and set our realistic expectations. But when we claim control over these issues, we get to bask in the rewards that patience gives us. And it's a hard struggle for me, but it's so true. I tell all of the new coaches, give it a year, give it 100% for 1 year and see what happens. Not 50%, but 100% for 1 year and see what happens. Say, I'm all in, I'm going to give this 100% because I'm worth it. I'm enough, I am capable, and I want this. Because I think when you give up, you don't get that opportunity to see what could happen, right? It's just when you decide to let those failures get to you and you don't have that perseverance and that patience, the second you get to that first failure, you just give up, right? You don't get to learn from it. You don't get to fail forward. All you get is failure. You don't get to learn from it. So the last P here we're going to talk about is purpose. And this is so huge. You guys, we've talked about our why, and our why is directly related to our passion. I was listening to a Tony Robbins podcast on the way back from my parents' house yesterday, and he said, activity without purpose is draining. And I thought to myself, there are those days where I sit down and maybe I'm lacking that purpose for the day. My bigger purpose is huge. It's always there. But if I don't have that daily purpose, what am I doing? I'm scrolling through Facebook. I am checking emails. I am looking at videos. I'm looking at other coaches' pages. That's draining because it's not getting you anywhere. You're moving, right? You're doing something, but there's no purpose behind it. And purpose is what gives our actions meaning. Would you be posting every day, inviting every day, reading your personal development if you didn't have purpose? No, it'd be a waste of time. But you got to tap into what your purpose is. My purpose and my why have definitely evolved over the past few years. When I first started this business, I remember that I just wanted to help my husband. We were on a one income. It was a decent income, but we had just bought a house, and he was so fixated on making sure that we had everything we needed, which, we did, but we wanted to be able to have a little bit more breathing room. We didn't want to have to check the bank account every few days and have to, live paycheck to paycheck. And I wanted to help him. I thought, okay, all I want to do is to just be able to cover the mortgage. That was my plan. That was my purpose. That was my technical purpose. Inside, I knew that I wanted to have my own success. I wanted to have something that was mine. And over the last few years, all of you guys know what's been happening in my family and whatnot, but my purpose has changed so much. It's for me to be able to spend as much time with my parents as I can. My purpose is for me to be able to help my mom financially, because one day things are going to run out, and I don't want her to be left with a life that her and my dad worked so hard for. So my purpose is to be able to give my time, my love, my money as much as I can. It's not so much about paying my own mortgage now or paying my car payment. It's about having the gift of time. And I think that's what this job provides for me, is that time, because life is way too short to not have that time. Sorry, guys. But you need to think really hard about what your purpose is, because if it doesn't make you feel like this, and you can't imagine going back, like I can't imagine not being able to go visit my parents anytime I want. Something happens to my dad, I can go. I can be there. I can be there as long as I need to be, right? I don't have something locking me down. I don't have an hourly job that is going to say, no, I'm in control of your life. Like, heck no. My purpose has gotten so much bigger than myself, and it's that makes me sit down. It's that makes me do my power of threes. It's that pushes me out of that moment where I think, I can't do this. This is not for me. I say, well, screw that. Yes, it is, because I've got something bigger to work for. And you got to find that inside of you, because if you don't have that purpose, all of this just means nothing, right? I also think that your sense of purpose is contagious. When you are surrounded by somebody that has a strong passion and purpose, don't you want to be a part of that? Or you want to be around them and you feel that energy from them? I know I do. And that's what we as coaches are providing here. We are those people that inspire people and that motivate people and that make people want to be around us. Think about the enthusiasm. If you look at other coaches' posts or pictures, some of the top coaches are the ones that really have the purpose. I mean, you don't have to be a top coach to have purpose. But I'm saying maybe some that you do see, you can almost feel their purpose through their words, right? You can feel that enthusiasm. You can feel that passion for what they're doing. And if you don't have that purpose that lies within you, it will not come out in your words. It will not come out in your pictures. You got to have that strong why. It's going to make you sit down and do the things that maybe you just don't want to do, right? So, okay. Whew. All right. I did not plan for that. Okay. So I want to talk about some strategies to go into the next year. I think this is a really big one. And this is something that you can't continue if you don't have a no matter what list. And I mean that in like on a daily basis. So for me, my no matter what list is I make sure to check in with the team page. I make sure that I host these calls twice a month. That's a no matter what, unless there's some sort of dire emergency. But that's a no matter what for me, because I want to help. I want to help you guys, and that's something I'm not going to fall short on. I'm going to make sure I'm connecting with at least 3 people a day. I'm going to make sure I'm starting conversations with at least 3 people a day. I'm going to make sure that I am doing at least 1 post a day that directly links me back to what I do, whether that's a fitness post, a business post. That's my personal and my business. And sometimes they're the same. But I also check in with all of my challengers every day. I just can't imagine not checking in with the people that have trusted us. So checking in with your challenge group every day, making sure that you're creating new contacts every day. These are the no matter what's. And, I heard a story about, Scotty Hobbs. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. He's a great coach. And he was telling a story about how his house flooded. And, he was up till the middle of the night and cleaning out his basement and buckets of water. And, he's got like 4 or 5 kids or something. So he was trying to make sure his house was, was in good shape. And he was up most of the night. But the next day, he still did his no matter what list. So it's not always just having the list. It's about making sure you do them no matter what. Because I'll tell you, there are times where I just don't feel like posting. I just don't feel like talking to somebody. We all have those days, right? Or maybe I am absolutely exhausted and then I got to jump on this call and I got to give you guys some good information and connect and do that. And maybe I just got some bad news, or maybe I just got into a fight with my husband. Those things are going to happen. Life's going to throw you obstacles. But if you want this to succeed and you want your dream to succeed, you've got to have that no matter what. For those of you who were at Summit, Amanda, I think you were with me during this, and Catherine, you were with me too. Tracy Morrow, she talked a lot about this. And, she talked about how her daughter had an eating disorder and all these things, and how she was just 5 minutes before her team call, she was sobbing her eyes out because she found out her daughter was bulimic, and yeah, that could have stopped her, right? She could have said, you know what, team call canceled. I'm not feeling like it. But you know what? You got to show up no matter what. You got to show up in your daily actions. You got to show up with your invites. You got to show up on the team calls. You got to show up in the national wake-up calls. You gotta be there. You got to show up no matter what, because I promise you something will hold you back, but it's up to you to make sure that you're doing those actions. Number 2, be a problem solver. This really is what is the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur. If you owned your own business and say it was a building, and you walked in and you saw a piece of trash on the ground and you were the owner, you'd probably go over and pick that up. You would smile to the receptionist because, that mattered to you, right? You were being a problem solver by picking up that trash and making sure that everything was set the right way. But what if you were an employee? What if you walked in, you saw a piece of trash, and you're like, cleaning company will get it. Yeah, there's the receptionist, no big deal. Like, that's a big difference between the employee mentality and the entrepreneur mentality. But being a problem solver in terms of something's not working, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to find a solution. If Facebook isn't working for me, like we talked about before, if I am just getting, if something's not working, then I'm going to find a solution. Because if you don't solve the problem, guess what? Nobody else will. This is your business. I'm not going to. Your upline's not going to, if you're not one of my coaches. They're not going to solve this problem for you. This is completely up to you. You can either let that problem sit and it's going to cause a huge roadblock, or you can go out and fix it. Be a sponge. Be that CEO of your business. Number 3, commit to a program. And I think this is a huge thing a lot of people overlook. I think we all get sometimes caught up in what should I post on social media or things like that. But committing to a program is the foundation of what we do. Because what happens when you commit to a program is that people start to see not only that it works, but that you are someone that they can trust as a coach. Because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that I have invited to a challenge group. Maybe, when I started the 21-day fix, I want to say it was, what was it, like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whenever it came out. And a lot of people say, yeah, I'm not really sure about it. But then once I started to post my results, and once I started to see myself and then show my journey and show that it was working, they're like, well, yeah, now I'm in. And I said, well, why weren't you in the first time? Well, because I was watching you. I was watching you to see if it worked. So committing to a program is the foundation of what we do. And that's when people are going to see, oh, okay, well, if it works for her, it's going to work for me. So make that, pick a program this year and commit to it. What is it, 60, 90 days? You're a coach. You should be doing this kind of stuff, right? Number 4, commit to something to move you forward. And I love this idea. I got this from Tony Robbins again. What that means is commit to something, like maybe that's a phone call to talk to someone about the coaching opportunity. Make that appointment so you can't not show up. Maybe go to a local training. There's a lot of personal development trainings on tour throughout the US. Buy a ticket to go to one of those. Maybe that's setting a challenge group date, because once you commit to something, you're less likely to back out of it, right? And that whatever you commit to is going to help you move forward in your business. Because if you find it hard to maintain that motivation, set something out there that's going to force you to create that momentum. Okay. All right, you guys, that is all I have tonight. I want to thank you guys all for being here. Oh, I got some chats here. Oh, Rosie left. Okay. But this is the end of the year. I know that next year is only going to be that much better for the team, for you. I'm really, really excited to go into this new year with all of you guys. But I hope that you have your goals set. Figure out what you want from this business. Don't let this other year pass you by. And then this time next year, we're sitting here and you're thinking, shoot, I really wish I would have done that. Like, what is it that you want out of this business? You really have to think about that. But if you guys have any questions or anything, you know where to find me. I will go ahead and post the recording, but I will say good night at this point, unless anyone has anything to say or has any questions. Okay. Good to see you guys. Bye.